Welcome back to Dither Boy. I am here today to reintroduce you to this app because we have been very busy working on our newest update, which is version 6. And this update is a full and complete rewrite of the entire app. And I have spent the last year or so adding all your comments, emails, DMs, and requests for features for Dither Boy to a giant spreadsheet. And version 6 is essentially a lot of that stuff, or it's the building blocks that we needed to make that stuff. So this update is really big. It's the biggest update we've ever done. I'm not going to be able to cover every single thing that's changed in this video alone, but I'm just going to introduce two of the new features, two of the most requested features in this video, and hopefully along the way you'll be able to sort of find your way to the rest of the stuff. Now, before I get started actually showing you the app, there is one new way to update. If you have a Studio AAA account, you can now sign into your account on our website and go to your orders, and there will be a new little button there that says refresh software. If you press that button, it will look and see if we've updated the links for Dither Boy or other software like Flowware or anything else we might do in the future. And if there is a new version, it will give you the new link there and you can download and update that way. I'm going to talk more about easier ways to update in a future video, but just so you can actually get a hold of Dither Boy version 6, you can do it that way. Or if you would like, if you're still in the old version of Dither Boy, you can go to help and click on check for updates and just put your info in there. I understand people are going to be really eager to update this to this version when they see it. So if you need any help updating, just send an email to support@studioAAA.com and we are more than happy to help you get updated. So as you can see, I've got Dither Boy open now and things look a little bit different. And that's because I was being serious. This is a full and complete rewrite of the entire app. So every single thing, even if it works the same as it worked before, every single thing has been redone and changed or optimized in some way. The first thing that you'll all be very happy to learn is that you can now toggle through algorithms with these two little arrows here. And when you land on one you want now, it's going to be much quicker to iterate through all the scale options and whatever else you might want to change, like brightness, contrast, saturation, midtones or highlights, or any of these other controls. These are much quicker now, and you're going to see your changes render much faster in the viewport. Now, the only two that may take a little bit longer to update are the blur and the denoise sliders here at the bottom of the adjustments section. This is just because they're quite heavy effects combined with everything else, but the rest of them have been optimized to be way quicker. Now, I understand that some of you might be running Dither Boy on an older computer. So if you look here at the bottom of the viewport now, we've got these options like zoom at the bottom left, and then we've got these three buttons that say full, live, and still. If you are struggling with this new speed of the sliders and you would like to, I don't know, if you've got a lot of software running, if you're just doing Dither Boy as one part of your workflow, you've got After Effects open or you've got some other stuff open on your computer, then you can switch from live to debounce, which basically just means that in debounce mode, the viewport will wait for you to stop moving the slider before it updates. So if you look now at when I move the brightness slider here, there's no update, but when I let go, it'll update. This is just a little quality of life thing for those of you who might be using, your computer's resources elsewhere, or if you don't have the newest computer and you don't want it to try and update this quick, then you can switch to debounce mode there at the bottom. You can also do it in settings here at the top of this tab bar. Now, another thing that you will be very happy with is if you toggle into the source palette category, and in fact, let me just reset my settings here. So you can see here, I've got this 3D render of Dither Boy. It's got all his usual colors with the yellow eyes, the pink facial features, yellow halo, and the black and white tuxedo cat body. So if I just load in a dithering algorithm like Ostromakov and I leave it all the same, you just saw Dither Boy's colors in the 3D model. So if you switch color palette categories to source, you can now browse through, and I generally find that this one called complete usually has the best success rate, but we've got multiple options now to help you get the same colors from your original image into your dither, to the point now where if I leave it on complete and I up the scale all the way, obviously if you zoom in, you can see this is dithered. but you wouldn't really be able to tell. And in fact, probably through the video and the encoding and the YouTube quality, you probably can't even tell this is dithered until I move the slider down. This is something that everyone requested as soon as we did color. I won't go on about it, but the original color implementation was my idea and I really loved it. But I understand that this is what people want to see, like as a starting point. So if you want to start with your original colors and then iterate from there. So for example, if I click on this yellow here and I change it, it'll start remapping the colors like live in front of me. And of course, all the other color palettes, they'll still work as usual. So if you want to go for something crazy like this chromed color palette here, you can still edit the color depth and everything that you used to be able to edit. You can still export palettes, import palettes, but the difference is we've migrated everything in app now. Previously, I did a companion app called ColorCat. Might still bring that back somehow, but all the controls now live in here. Now, a new little quality of life update that has been added to the color system. You'll see here each of the color swatches has a little lock button. So if I lock the black here and then click the shuffle button, it'll keep that black, but it'll randomize the rest of the colors. Let's say I want to keep this yellow and shuffle again. You can basically just iterate through until you get sort of all the hues that you want. It works the same for adjustments as well. So if you hover over the title of an adjustment, you can lock it and then randomize the rest. Obviously, results will vary. My image doesn't have, like, there's not a lot going on in this in terms of like background and stuff. It's a fairly simple image. Yeah, if you were someone who wanted to get your original colors in your dithering, then we addressed that in version 6 as well. There are only 2 more things I'm going to show you that we've added in version 6, but these are my favorite features. And the first one here is if you look at the Dither Boy cat head icon on the right hand side palette, you'll see that we've got a tab now for the main dithering controls and a little plus above it. So if you click the plus to add an effect, you can choose which effects you want now rather than just ticking them all on at once. So I'm going to go for Epsilon Glow, which is my favorite effect, and I'm going to toggle that on, and it's already pretty good with the default settings. Epsilon Glow has not changed. It works the same as it did before. So I'm not going to go over Epsilon Glow here. I'm just going to leave the default settings on. If I click plus again, you will see that there is a new animated effect. This is called temporal variation. I'm going to do a whole video on temporal variation, but I bring this up because we have added animation into Dither Boy. You don't need to import a video anymore to animate. You can import a video, but if you've got a still image and you want to animate it, then you can do that all in app now. So I'm going to show you how that works now. 2 ways to get your animation going. You can go file and click on convert to animation, or down here at the bottom, you can just click on the still toggle and it'll toggle you into animation mode. I'm just going to do a 3-second animation at 24 FPS because I don't want my computer to explode while I'm recording and animating at the same time. But you'll see now you get this timeline at the bottom. So I'm just going to expand it so you can see what we've got here. Now, obviously, if I hit play now, nothing's going to happen because I've not animated anything. I'm going to click on add animation and you get this little layer here where you can come in, select a category. I'm going to go for adjustments and brightness. And then you've got a range from and to and an easing method. So ease in, ease out, or linear. Just to show you the basics here, I'm going to go for linear. Any complexities or anything else in the future, I will cover in more detailed specific tutorials. I'm going to set my brightness animation to go from 68 to 121. And I'm going to pull this layer along here to roughly the middle. And then I'm going to click add animation again and drag this new one to just after that one. And then if I remember my numbers, it was 121 to 68. So I'm then going to go adjustments, brightness, and then do from 121 to 68. Same easy and linear. And then I'm going to drag this to the end. So this has, in theory, built an animation that will take my Dither Boy character down in brightness and then up. And what should happen is as it goes down in brightness, you should see the Epsilon Glow sort of fade from the image. It'll probably stay on the paws and the little chest fur and the tail. As it comes back up, you'll see like extra features glowing because the brightness of the source image is going up and it will pass the threshold for Epsilon Glow. The best way to play back your animations in Dither Boy is switching from quick to rendered. You do that at the bottom next to the video controls. You'll see standard and quick by default. If you change quick to rendered, you can also change standard to looped, which will just loop your playback continuously. Once you change to rendered, rendered, you'll see you get this little warning that says settings changed. That's just because Dither Boy will, like After Effects or like other animation software, it will need to load your frames for your animation so that it can play them back accurately. The option for quick playback generally works, but if you've got anything complex, there might be some inaccuracies. So I would recommend doing the rendered playback. So I click play and it's going to start rendering my frames. I've only got 72 frames because it's a very quick animation. But once it's done, it tells you the playback is ready. So now if I hit play, you'll see the brightness grows and the glow kind of swells to the middle. And because it's looped and because I set up the animation right, this is a proper loop. So now you can see what's going on with your animation in app, and you just come here, click export video. I'm just going to rename mine to say tutorial animation and hit save. From here, it will process your frames and render out your video from the still image that you imported with all your settings and whatever else you animated basically. So these are the big new systems in Dither Boy, the video timeline and the new color palettes overhaul and this, new effects tab system that we've got. The good thing here is I'll just load in sort of an example effect here. If you click and load in a tint layer, and let's just enable a tint for red. If you wanted to then layer that tint to be underneath the epsilon glow, you just hover over and click on these arrows and you can reorder the pipeline for your effects live, and it'll update and it'll work with your animation. And the goal here is to allow you to create your own unique stack of effects on top of your dithering and then basically do what you want with that. So animate it, save the color palette so you can move it to another dither, or just do your usual workflow that you were doing before if you were just here for still images, but at least now you get the quicker slider responses. Now, a couple things to know and just bear in mind if you are going to be animating in Dither Boy. Obviously, you've got a playhead here that moves along the timeline. If you are updating sliders while you're in the animation mode, there's like an extra step to it. So the sliders or the color palette and stuff, as you update that while you've got an animation loaded, that might change how quick and responsive things are. And of course, we've animated the brightness property here. So the brightness slider is now locked and you can't change it in the panel. That's just to prevent you, obviously, from thinking you're editing brightness or whatever you've animated and then wondering why it didn't update because you've animated it, kind of thing. I'm going to be covering the rest of this update for the rest of the year, to be honest. And we've got more updates in the line as well now. So rewriting this app makes it easier now for us to get these updates out to you, still for free, still no extra cost for existing users. And I am personally really excited to get this out to you. So yeah, much more to show. Thank you for all the support. We'll definitely not be able to do any of this crazy stuff, rewriting a whole app from scratch without all the support. Thank you if you've recommended Dither Boy to a friend, or if you've posted about Dither Boy, or if you mentioned Dither Boy when you post your dithered artwork. I really appreciate it. Lots more stuff to come, and let me know what you think of version 6. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.